I grew up with a pretty normal childhood. We all went to church. I was baptized and confirmed into the Catholic faith. We went to church because that's what we were supposed to do. Halfway through high school, my parents got a divorce. Eventually, my younger sister moved away with my mom, and I stayed with my dad to finish out high school. That was about my senior year. We had a falling out, and I made the decision to pack up and leave. And at the time, Jake was one of my best friends, and I went and moved into his parents' house and finished out my senior year there. Within that year, we dated and decided to up and join the Marine Corps, trying to make some meaning out of my life. We tried dating through that, but I got orders to go to Japan for 2 years, and he got accepted to Ole Miss. So we kind of cut that relationship. I walked into a world that I had no idea I was walking into. I hit the fleet, and the occasional partying on the weekends turned to something a lot darker. My drinking was no longer casual. It eventually became something I did every day. I had a hole develop in my soul. I tried to fill it with everything I could that was of this world. Sex, alcohol, eventually drugs. And the longer it went on, the worse it got. I ended up getting married and had an affair, a continuous affair for a while. Thought I had control over my entire life when I actually completely lacked control in every area of my life. Eventually, I got medically retired. I moved back home with my ex-husband. My life just continued to spiral, and that's when drugs became an option. Eventually, I made the decision. I had been so unhappy, and I had inflicted so much pain and suffering upon my ex-husband, and by my actions, divorced him and moved back home, back to my hometown where my family was. But I knew I still had feelings for Jake, and we entered into a relationship that was at the root very toxic because we had so many demons we were bringing into that.
When we got back together from our initial stint in high school and her time away and my time squandering a free ride in college, I had issues with smoking pot, with binge drinking, and sometimes harder drugs, and I was going through grief. My childhood wasn't as structured as it could have been, and once we got back together, we bought a house together in Kennesaw, out of wedlock, continued in our downward spiral of just getting high every day, drinking. Eventually, it got to the point where when we were about 25 that we decided that enough was enough, it's time to grow up. So she initially got clean before me and kind of dragged me along in that whole journey, and I reluctantly joined. About 6 months after we had gotten clean, we found out we were pregnant with our first son. We had decided that we needed some sort of moral foundation, some sort of rock to stand on that we did not have, that we did not grow up with. And so we found Creekside through Nicole's family, who had been coming for a little while. And we showed up one Sunday. To be honest, I thought everyone here was a little weird. I had never been in an environment where people genuinely seemed to be enjoying themselves and have some sort of hope, and people with their hands up and people genuinely praising the Lord. It was just foreign to me and to Nicole as well.
I really dragged my feet coming into the church. I had believed in a God, but I had looked at everybody raising their hands up to God, and I was envious. I just thought, I want what they have. And I called up my sponsor at the time, and I admitted that to her, and I said, I want that, but I don't believe. And she said, just say the simple prayer. She said, ask for Jesus to search your heart. And so I did. My sponsor said the worst thing that could come from this is nothing changes, but the best thing that could happen is your whole life will change. And it did.
And we went to bike class after a couple months of coming to find out what this Jesus guy was really about.
I looked Pastor Greg in the face and I told him that I think this was all a load of crap and I don't believe, but I will read the whole Bible till the end. And I'd never heard of the stuff I was reading before. It was absolutely beautiful. And very quickly, it was like a light bulb went off just one day. It was just this utter peaceful moment that I knew I had been wrong my entire life. And so we did dive all in. We joined experience groups, finished bike class, started serving, but ultimately that hole that I had been feeling and filling with the world for so long no longer needed to be filled by me. It was just filled by Jesus.
Finding about the fruits of the Spirit, what your life can look like, the things, the hope that you can have, the joy, the peace, the goodness, the patience, all of the things that I lacked. That's when I really chose to be all in, and that's when I finally chose Jesus.
I'm Nicole.
And I'm Jake, and we're the ones Jesus left the 99 for.